Okay, so Bucharest. Maybe not the first city break that springs to mind in Europe.
Right. But this article we looked at, 12 Best Things to Do,
Yeah?
it really paints a picture of a place that's, well, packed with history, culture, and actually pretty easy on the wallet.
Exactly. So our plan for this deep dive is basically to pull out the best bits, the must-knows, from that piece if you're thinking about a trip.
Yeah, we're trying to get under the skin of it a bit. What makes Bucharest interesting? What are the stories, the experiences that, really stick with you based on what this article suggests?
There seems to be a ton of variety. You've got these massive historical buildings, cool museums, parks.
Family stuff, even football.
Yeah.
And definitely the food scene looks interesting.
Right. Okay, so where do we start? Probably with the big one, the Palace of the Parliament.
Yeah, you almost have to start there, don't you?
Yeah.
'Cause it's monumental. Built between 1984 and 1997. It's way more than just the Parliament building. It's such a symbol.
Oh, definitely a symbol. And the size is just hard to grasp. Over 3.6 million square feet and nearly 300 feet tall.
It's massive. And that fact from the article, Guinness World Records saying it's the heaviest building.
Yeah, like how do you even measure that? What does that even mean in practical terms? The sheer weight of it.
It's staggering, isn't it? And the look of it, the architecture, it's this really interesting mix. You've got the grand columns and arches, that neoclassical feel, but then mixed with that, well, that socialist realism style. Very imposing, very grand, meant to project power.
Yeah, it definitely tells a story of its time. And you can't just stroll in, can you? The article mentioned it's guided tours only.
That's right. Which actually sounds like a good thing, It means you get to see the inside properly, these amazing hallways, these incredibly lavish rooms.
Almost royal, it said.
Yeah, and one of Europe's biggest ballrooms. It gives you a real insight into the ambition behind it all.
Fascinating. Okay, so from that kind of state-level grandeur, let's shift to something different, but also about Romania's past, the National Village Museum.
Yeah, this sounds brilliant, like a really hands-on way to get into Romanian history and culture. It's basically a whole traditional village recreated outdoors.
Right, and not just a few houses over 300 buildings and things from the 17th century up to the 20th. That's quite a span.
Yeah, it really is. Imagine seeing how rural life changed over that time. And it's right there on Lake Heristral, which sounds lovely.
Yeah, the setting sounds great. And pretty affordable, too. The article mentioned ticket prices like around $6 or $7 for adults.
And even less for kids. It really does sound like you're stepping back in time, walking through old homesteads, churches, windmills. You can see why families would love it.
Totally. That physical experience, being in the history, is often so much more powerful than just reading about it, isn't it?
Definitely. And speaking of Lake Heristral,
Yeah.
that leads us straight to King Michael Arts Park. Used to be called Heristral Park, apparently.
Oh, right. And it's right next door to the Village Museum? That's handy.
Perfect pairing, yeah. Do the museum, then relax in the park. And it's Bucharest's biggest park. Huge, like 460-something acres. Described as a real escape.
Nice. Always need a good park in a city. And it's not just grass, is it? There's stuff to do, walking, running, tennis, boat rides on the lake.
Yeah, picnics. Sounds ideal. Plus, there are landmarks actually in the park. The Arc de Triomphe, Elizabeth Palace, even a bust of Yuri Gagarin.
Yuri Gagarin. Huh. Interesting mix. National monuments and space race history in a park.
Okay, shows different layers of history and connection, I guess.
Right.
And it's open all the time, 24/7. A real constant in the city.
Okay, so if you've got kids with you, the article points towards Children's Town, or a Salul Copilar, in Tineretului Park.
Yeah, sounds like the place to burn off some energy. A proper amusement park rides, playgrounds.
He's listed a bunch. Carousel, Ferris wheel, boat ride, Viking ship, small roller coaster.
And bumper cars. Can't forget those.
Never. Good that parents can go on some rides, too. And it has picnic spots, paths, shops, the usual facilities.
It seems well set up. Open long hours, free to get in the park itself, you just pay for the rides. Flexible for families.
Definitely makes the trip more fun for the kids, gives them their own kind of memories of the city.
Exactly. Okay, changing pace completely now for the sports fans. Football Club FCSB.
Ah, yes, or Stoa Bucharesti, as most probably know them. The big team in Romania, right?
The most successful, yeah. The article mentioned 26 league titles. And they're the only Romanian club to have won the European Cup, the Champions League now.
That's massive. That must be a huge source of pride for the city.
Oh, absolutely. Going to a match must be quite an experience.
Yeah.
Their stadium, the National Arena, holds over 55,000 people. Imagine the atmosphere.
Wow. And getting there sounds doable, like a 15-minute drive or a bit over an hour's walk if you're keen.
Yeah, and the article gives tips on tickets website or at the stadium. good practical info.
Cool. Okay, from football chants too. Well, something much quieter and more elegant. The Romanian Athenaeum.
Yes. This sounds incredible. A concert hall from way back in 1888, right in the city center.
Described as breathtaking, with a grand dome, luxurious inside. It's home to the Georgianescu Philharmonic.
So you know the music quality is top-notch. Just being in a place like that must add so much to the performance, you know?
Totally. The article says even just seeing the building is worth it, but imagine hearing amazing music in there.
Yeah, that sounds like a really special evening. And they have events pretty much daily, apparently.
Good to know. And ticket prices seemed reasonable, too, around $13 to $16 maybe. Worth checking their website for sure.
Definitely. Okay, moving on to museums. The National Museum of Art. It's in the Royal Palace on Revolution Square.
Yeah, quite a location. And the collection sounds vast Romanian art, European, Oriental, from medieval times onwards. Some stuff from the 7th century.
Wow. That Oriental art gallery sounds fascinating, too. Egypt, Turkey, China, Japan. Ancient costumes, weapons, ceramics.
It really suggests Bucharest or Romania was this crossroads, doesn't it? All these influences.
Exactly. Seeing all that together in the old royal palace adds another layer of history to it all.
And if you want even more history, there's the National Museum of Romanian History, founded in the 70s.
Right. This one sounds focused purely on Romania, from prehistoric times up to modern day. The article really highlights the historical treasure hall.
Yeah, over 3,000 pieces, gold jewelry, religious items. It mentioned a specific golden treasure from Moigrad.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing actual objects from centuries ago. That's powerful. And they have a copy of Trajan's column, life-size.
Yeah. You know, the famous one in Rome detailing the Roman conquest of Dacia.
Having a replica there really underlines that connection to Roman heritage, doesn't it? It's a big part of Romanian identity.
Definitely. Okay, so a really smart way to tie some of this together, especially when you first drive, sounds like the free walking tour idea.
Always a great tip for a new city. This story of Bucharest tour, almost 3 hours, 500 years of history, hitting key sites, sounds like a perfect intro.
You get that local perspective, don't you? A guide can point out things you just walked past otherwise, share stories. Yeah, much richer than just a guidebook. Starts at Uniri Fountains, takes you through the Old Town, past Stavropolios Church, the Royal Palace. Covers good ground.
And yeah, free tour, but always good to tip the guide if they did a good job.
Absolutely. Okay, all this walking in history.
Yeah.
You're going to be hungry.
Yeah.
Romanian cuisine.
Yes. The article made it sound really appealing. Hearty, flavorful, that mix of Balkan, Turkish, Greek influences, lots of meats, veg, fruit.
Sounds delicious. And it recommended specific places like Karukuber or Hanului Manuk. Those are pretty famous, aren't they?
Yeah, iconic places known for traditional food and atmosphere. Karukuber especially is famous for its amazing interior.
And for going deeper, there's that 4-hour walking food tour in the Old Town.
Now that sounds like a plan. Learn about the food, try more things. Visits Manuk's Inn and Karukuber too, so you see those landmarks.
Perfect. And the examples, pies, cheeses, wines, mishi. Those skinless sausage.
Oh yeah, mishi sound like a must-try.
Definitely. Okay, slightly different vibe now. Cafe Van Gogh.
This sounded really cool and quirky. A whole cafe themed around Van Gogh.
Yeah. Walls like Starry Night, replicas of paintings. Must have a unique atmosphere. More than just coffee, it's an experience.
But the article made sure to say the food and drinks are good too, not just a gimmick. Coffee, pancakes, fruit bowls, breakfast.
Sounds like a lovely spot to just chill out for a bit, soak up the art vibes.
Totally. And finally, one for the photographers, Crițulescu Church.
Ah, yes. Early 18th century, Eastern Orthodox. Built in that Brankovenesque style.
Which is that unique Romanian blend, right? Orthodox, Renaissance, Ottoman touches. Sounds beautiful. The brick facade, the frescoes, stone columns, bell towers.
Definitely sounds photogenic.
Yeah.
Capturing those details, the brickwork, the carvings. It's a way to really look at the building, isn't it?
And the inside sounds impressive too. Good tip to photograph the outside first. And it's free to enter. Just need to be respectful.
Standard church etiquette, yeah. Easy enough to visit.
So wrapping this up, looking back at everything this article covered, Bucharest really does seem to offer a surprisingly rich mix of things to do.
Absolutely. You've got the monumental history, the cultural depth in the museums and the Athenaeum, the green spaces, the family fun, the food. It covers a lot of bases.
It really backs up that idea of it being an underrated gem. History, culture, but also just enjoyable experiences like the cafes and parks.
Yeah, this deep dive definitely makes it sound like a compelling place to visit. That blend of old and new, grand and everyday.
It really does. So thinking about all that, if you were heading to Bucharest, what would jump out first? What kind of story would you want to create for yourself there, weaving together all these different threads the city seems to offer, something to maybe mull over?